So, and I don't even have it in the right orientation. We're a mess.
On a struggle bus.
Welcome in, everyone. We're a little bit of a mess. We were prepared, and then I waited last minute to do
Audio stuff and
some audio stuff and some downloads of the visuals for tonight. And Liz is not here, which also throws us off because we didn't put in earbuds because we didn't really need them until I realized Cheyenne's here. Until I realized you can't hear the music because we don't have earbuds plugged in. Anyway, I'm Brian.
And I'm TJ.
And I didn't even have an intro.
I was trying to think of one, but I forgot. We're all
so
over the place.
Your camera is dirty.
It has a glare on it. I tried to clean it, so. Anywho's, you're gonna.
That's better. Wow, what a mess. What a mess. Well, welcome in. This is episode. Oh, this is episode 30.
Oh, it is.
So, welcome to episode 30 of Parkside Chat.
We're supposed to do something special for the 30th.
Okay.
All right, we're going to hang up and go to the parks. We'll be right back. No.
TJ has wanted to do a live from the parks.
I think it'll be fun.
I'm sure it'll be fun. It's just a matter of... I keep shaking the desk. It's a matter of logistics. So, that's all. So, we have... Tonight, we're kind of doing a recap of what we've been up to. Tampa. We were in Tampa last weekend. Then we have been to the Disney
Wilderness Preserve,
which
I didn't even know was here.
We are talking about Roca Hula, which is a new Tiki bar in Orlando. Not too much on that, but we are going to touch on that. Let's see, what else? We're going to talk about the updated DAS.
It just started today.
Oh, it started today. Okay. Just so that you're aware of that, and maybe a little... I know some people are always get upset about the DAS Pass changes whenever there's a DAS Pass change.
How many changes have there been?
There's been a few in the last 20 years or so that I've been around doing park stuff and been around the parks full time, basically. And then we're also talking briefly about Horror Nights because they did announce 2 new houses since we talked to you 2 weeks ago. Which was a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Halfway to Halloween episode.
An episode or 2 ago, yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
So, okay, our weekend in Tampa. So thank you to Visit Tampa Bay for having us. I have been to Tampa over the years, here and there, and I always liked Tampa.
I feel like I've been a few times, but it's definitely like, I wouldn't say a hidden gem, but it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel like you're somewhere else in Florida. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
It makes you... We definitely felt like we traveled somewhere, even though we drove only an hour to get there.
Yeah.
So this is...
we got on a plane.
This is great for if you are in Central Florida, and you're looking maybe for a spot. Maybe you have kids and you don't want to like go too far, or you don't want to fly, or whatever the case might be, or you want to like keep it within a certain budget. I think Tampa is a great place to do that. I think especially like where we stayed, like Hyde Park was really nice.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful area.
We were able to walk to a few places. We could walk to the waterfront from Hyde Park from our hotel. And there's a bunch of restaurants around. Right. And then if you wanted to build on, you won't see this here, but if you wanted to build on a beach day, I mean, the beach is only probably you drive another 15, 20 minutes and you'll be at a pretty good beach. So definitely, it kind of changed my view of Tampa, even though I already liked Tampa. It just showed you can really do a lot. There's an aquarium. There's a lot of activities you can do.
The hockey team's down there.
Lots of food.
Yeah, sports.
Well,
what's the area we went to that was right by the water that we got ice cream from, where it had a bunch of like local shops. in that
Armature
building.
Works,
Armature Works. That's always fun to go to because there's always something going on in there.
and that is like their food hall. Actually, we don't have any visuals for that, but we're gonna go through our visuals. So we stayed in Hyde Park, but first, before we went and checked in to the hotel, we did go to the Pearl. And this is just a shot representing the Pearl. I actually had a seafood salad there, which was very good. It was a cold seafood salad. It was
That top left one, yeah.
it was really good. And then
I got one of the breaded chicken sandwiches, and it was very tender. It was very good.
these were the deviled eggs, and they were served in like this eggware or an egg scale,
Yeah.
which I didn't really read too closely. I don't know if this is something that was actually used back in the day, but this is how it was served to the table. And this is kind of like a southern home cooking seafood oyster bar restaurant, and I would go back. I would go back and eat that salad again.
And it's like right in the heart of downtown too.
Yes. All right, so then Poly House is kind of just southwest of downtown in Hyde Park.
Only like 8 minutes away.
Yeah, very short. Everything was less than 2-minute drive, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And so we stayed in Poly House. Poly House started in California, and it is a brand of, I would say, boutique hotels. With this Poly House didn't have much amenities. It really just had the rooms and a lobby bar / restaurant that didn't really have a very full menu.
Yeah.
But because you're in Hyde Park, the area that it's in, you're in walking distance to a lot of great food and some shopping as well.
Yeah, like a throne's throw away from some pretty good restaurants, and then it had like the normal stores that you see, like Sephora, and then like local shops thrown in there. So it's a good mix of the two.
And then the bottom two pictures are our room. It was a pretty good sized room. I think this was just a standard room. So a pretty good sized room.
The bathroom was huge.
Yeah, lots of good storage too. I don't know if I would say
yeah.
huge.
It was a pretty decent size for a hotel.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
it was fine. It wasn't huge, in my opinion, but it was fine. It wasn't huge, but it was nice. And then that evening we went to Timpano, which I just posted on my reels today.
It was literally
on
right across the street.
Instagram. This restaurant, and they had tableside pasta made in a Parmesan wheel, and that was very good. It's the best Parmesan wheel pasta I've had. I've had it a few times. I've had it at a restaurant in Orlando. I've had it at a restaurant in Brazil, and this might be my third or fourth. This one was the best that I've had, and they did pesto in this one.
Yeah, it's very fresh. It was very good.
It was delicious, and everything here was good. And you can go check out my Instagram. We're not going in depth on everything. We're just kind of skimming over things, and you can take notes, rewind, play it back if you want to take notes on what we did. But we just want to kind of give you guys an overview of Tampa. So right after Italian at Timpano, we went to Jekyll, which is a speakeasy. What classifies a speakeasy? I'm just putting it out there because we're going to talk about another speakeasy later, and people were coming in the comments saying that it's not a speakeasy if you have to have a reservation. So
For me, I feel like anything can be a speakeasy as long as it's, has like, it's a bar and has drinks and it's like behind a secret wall.
or hidden.
Yeah.
Or not like in your face noticeable that it's there. I would agree with that. I agree with that too. I think the traditional sense, you think that even back in Prohibition, when the speakeasies were actually running, you think that you didn't have to have a reservation? You might have had to have a reservation or known the right person to go to the speakeasy. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in depth about when we get to Rockahula, which is a speakeasy in a new one in Orlando that's a tiki bar. This was very good cocktails here. Did you like yours? I liked mine.
Yeah, mine was smoked. I think the presentation for it made it super special. And I also like the fact that they had a DJ in there and it was playing all the music from like high school.
Yes.
So all three of us, our rep was there as well. And so we were just like going down memory lane with all the music.
Yes. Yeah, so during Tampa, we generally had a representative from Visit Tampa Bay with us to just make sure the experience went smoothly and to talk and...
Which normally that doesn't happen, but in this, for this trip overall, I think it worked out well because each person that we met was super nice.
Yes.
And it was just, they were all easy to talk to, so yeah.
Now, we did have a reservation.
For this one.
And I think you probably would need a reservation for this, I think.
I feel like they did because I noticed a lot of people like walking by it asking to see if they could be seated and they couldn't.
They also have food here.
Yes.
So
because is it connected to the one we went to or
no? It's owned by the same people that own Row, which is right next door, not across the street, literally right next door. So I don't know, and Row is Japanese. I'm not sure if this is Japanese food here or what, but anyway, you can get food here. Mm-hmm. And every seating area has a table, or you can sit at the bar, but nobody was sitting at the bar, so they had everyone at tables.
Yeah, everyone was sitting at a table.
So the next morning, this Somi is a Greek restaurant. It is either Michelin, I think it's just Michelin recommended. It doesn't have the Bib Gourmand recognition from Michelin, but it's just in the Michelin guide, and let me tell you, this place is so good. There are two places that I probably would say people, if you're watching from Central Florida, you should drive there to try, and
this is
Somi is definitely one of them. They make their own bread in-house, freshly made bread. I think it's like a separate little building. It's kind of like a little compound.
He pointed it out. It was
It's a little compound at the end of a street on like the corner between two streets, and it has like a couple buildings around. I didn't put any pictures here of the surroundings, but they're beautiful. We haven't been to Greece yet, but it does feel like you've been transported somewhere else and that you were not in Tampa in the middle of basically the burbs.
It had both indoor and outdoor seating, and then the outdoor seating was themed like that with a lot of vines and stuff. It was very pretty.
This place was so good, and this was a spanakopita frittata,
which I don't think I've ever had.
It was like a quiche. So spanakopita,
that's what I thought it was.
Spanakopita is like a Greek savory pastry with spinach and feta in it. And so that was, they did a take on that, but in a kind of like a frittata / quiche format. And oh my gosh, it was delicious.
Yeah, this is one of the places we would definitely drive back to just for that.
Yes.
And then, it's not pictured here, but I got the French toast, and
that French toast was good.
Because they make all the bread in-house, and so you can definitely tell a difference, and it was so good.
Everything was good here.
It was so soft.
I want to try other meals here.
Amazing. Yeah, we'll have to go back to get something different.
I 100% will.
But I'm going to get that again.
100% going back here.
Because we could split that for sure, and then try other stuff.
The bread, this was a shared thing, and we did have Marissa. She was with us that day from Visit Tampa Bay. I was like, you better take that home. You better take that leftover bread home. It was so good. So then we headed into Ybor, and Ybor, I didn't really know what to expect. This is kind of a historic district north of downtown Tampa, and I really didn't know what to expect. And I was pleasantly surprised. It does, of course, feel old. There's some buildings that maybe need some care, but overall, I thought it was really good. There are some clubs here, so I guess it's kind of a party strip as well. We went to a park, and now I don't have the name in front of me, so forgive me. I'm going to look up the name. So This park is owned by Cuba.
So like as you step in, you're actually like in Cuba, which is pretty cool.
So you're technically on Cuban soil. So this is the Park Jose Marti. And so this is in honor of him. Jose Marti actually visited Ybor at one point, and basically he was for the independence of Cuba. So anyway, you can go to Cuba without a passport or getting on a boat or plane. And there's a park in Ybor. So kind of cool, little, interesting thing to go and do. And then we walked the streets of Ybor, and then we went to lunch at Columbia Restaurant. If you've lived in Florida for any amount of time, you probably have come across a Columbia Restaurant before. This is a Spanish-style restaurant, and this is the original in Ybor. It's the original one. It's been in operation, I think, over 100 years now.
And it's been through like 7+ generations. Yeah, which is crazy. And then like when you walk inside, because it's the original, it takes up like a whole block.
It's a whole block.
And the building is huge.
So they've expanded it over the years until, I guess they probably expanded it until they had the whole block.
Yeah.
So there's multiple rooms. It's huge. I think something like 2,000 people can be seated in here.
It was packed in there.
Yeah, and it was busy.
Because we went on Mother's Day weekend.
It was Mother's Day.
Everyone and their mom was trying to go in and sit down. People made reservations, but there are a lot of walk-ins trying to get reservations that they simply were like, we're booked for the entire weekend, sorry.
One of my favorite things at Columbia is the 1905 salad. They serve it at all their restaurants. I think all the restaurants have the same menu. So we all shared a 1905 salad. I love that salad.
That's good.
And they make it to you, and they make it fresh tableside for you. Okay, this is the second place that I would say you should drive from Central Florida to Tampa for. This is Streetlight Taco. They have only been open 4 months, and they already have the Bib Gourmand Award from Michelin.
So that in and of itself speaks volumes.
Yes, and they make their own masa in-house. They grind the corn in-house. They source the corn from Mexico. They grind the corn in-house, and everything was fantastic. Now, the funny thing about this is that they have Doritos nachos, which of course the Doritos are not made in-house, but supposedly, I think in Mexico, this is becoming a trend of taking like pre-made like tortillas from the bag, like Doritos, and turning them into nachos. And so that's what the chef has done here with this dish. Those Dorito nachos were so good.
The one on the bottom right, yeah.
Those Doritos tasted next level Doritos, in my opinion.
You would have thought they like pulled them like straight from the factory, but he was like, no, you just open the individual bags, just put them in there.
Yeah, so he said, they have individual bags, right? Like they do that. They don't do the big bags. I guess maybe that helps. I don't know, but man,
we kept like
delicious.
It was us two, and then my college friends and his partner. We just constantly picked at it and just kept going at it. And we're like, what are these? And he's like, nothing special, just the ones from the bag.
And of course the tortillas are made in house. Of course they're good as well. But I was just kind of in shock with, like, I feel like I liked Doritos more as a kid than I do now. I mean, I still like a Dorito every once in a while, but like.
Did you ever have a taco in a bag?
I mean, we've had
so it's
that
basically
at
that.
Horror Nights. Yeah, it's basically a taco.
Yeah.
A walking taco.
We used to have those at swim meets all the time. You just literally open a Doritos bag, put ground beef in there, lettuce, cheese.
This was next level.
It's far superior, yeah. But it's so good.
Delicious. But all the tortillas here were good. All the tacos were good. All the flavors were good.
All the servers were nice.
I mean, thumbs up. So it is, you find your table, you scan a QR code, you order from the QR code, and they bring it to you. When you go, like when we went, we I think we said 6:30. I think 6:30 was our time that we showed up, and that we had previously arranged, and it was packed. There was a crowd at the door waiting for tables to come available. Because it was a media visit, they knew we were coming, so they ushered us to a table that they had set aside, and it was great. It was great.
It was so funny. You walked in and it was like, it's pretty busy in here. I hope these tacos are really good, and they were.
Yeah.
He's like, they must be good, and
Yes.
sure enough, they were.
They were very good. Totally worth it.
I would wait for those.
Yes.
I wonder if they. I was gonna say I wonder if they have like to-go options, but it wouldn't taste the same. I'd rather just.
No, I'd rather eat there. And it's casual in the sense that I don't think you would be pushed out of there.
Yeah.
And it did calm down a bit as we sat there. You know, I think we were probably there for an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. Maybe we were there 2 hours. By the time we left at probably about 8:30, I think we were there at about 2 hours. The crowds had died down, and you would have been able, if you would have came in probably even a hour after us, you would have been able to get a table much easier.
Yeah.
We were in the rush hour of dinner.
And they had outdoor seating too, so that probably helped a little.
Yes. Well, now it's hot, so
people probably won't. And yeah, when we first got there, we saw the tables outside, and we're like, we're just gonna sit inside.
100% inside.
And the chef wanted us to, so we were sitting like right by the kitchen, which was nice.
So the next morning, we went to Oxford Exchange, which I've been here a few times. This was TJ's first time.
Yeah, I've never been there. It was nice.
And this is kind of a mixed-use space. They have shopping, they have a restaurant, they have a coffee bar, I think like a cookie bar or something too.
Because it's right by the university, right?
Correct. It's by
right across the street.
University of Tampa. I put a picture of the whipped feta here because this was probably my favorite thing
pretty.
was on the table, and it is very pretty. And TJ, I think, even liked this whipped feta.
Yeah.
It was so smooth, it wasn't overpowering, and it was light. And I really enjoyed that. And Oxford Exchange, if you've never been, it's just a really nice place. I recommend trying to go, try to find a time when it's not crowded. So that way you can get some good pictures. Maybe during the week, I would say.
But because it's by college, I imagine it's always going to be, not busy, but it's always going to be like a little bustling in there.
Yeah. Upstairs, they have a co-working space, which I'm guessing that some of the college students have passes so that they can use that space to study. But it's very nice. I highly recommend checking out Oxford. Even if you don't eat there, at least go in to check the vibes and grab a coffee, do a little bit of shopping. And then our last meal in Tampa was at Goody Goody. So this is owned by the 1905 restaurant group who owns Columbia. So it's the same family that owns Columbia. And this concept was actually I believe it was a drive-through hamburger stand. And then it went out of business, and then 1905 brought it back to life and put it where it currently is in Hyde Park.
This is like one of the first restaurants in Hyde Park.
Yeah, well, I think that this was one of the first ones to rejuvenate Hyde Park.
Yeah, we can say that.
To pump some life into it. So it's not like a historic restaurant that was always in Hyde Park. It was not far from Hyde Park, but this 1905 put it there, and it helped to rejuvenate the area of Hyde Park. I thought the quality was very good. The server recommended the chicken and biscuits, so the fried chicken. She really, I think, recommended the fried chicken. So I just went for the fried chicken and biscuits, which is over on the left. Very tasty. Her recommendation on the chicken was good. And then, of course, TJ went with
French toast.
Yes.
Anything with syrup.
Yes.
And then I got a side of biscuits and gravy, which those biscuits were actually really good. They had some seasoning on it that was very good.
The prices here, I think, were very reasonable.
That too, yeah.
We also got a whole pie from here. They are known for their butterscotch pie. I would say that pie to me wasn't like out of this world. I thought it was good, but it wasn't like wowzer for me.
Yeah, I think the server, she mentioned like the classic is their blueberry pie. Maybe we try that next time. I think the one that we got, the butterscotch, it was just a lot of like the whipped, and then by the time you like put your fork through it, it was just the crust. So for me, there wasn't much oomph in it. I mean, it's still good, but
Yeah, it was kind of mid for me.
yeah.
It's also probably sometimes we brought it home. Maybe it's better to have sometimes those things fresh. I just put some vibes in here. So this is area in Hyde Park closer to the bay. So we were able to walk over here from our hotel, and it was just really pretty. I mean, it is very humid.
Yeah, so we're usually early risers anyway. So I got up the first day to do like a run up and down that main street. And then the second day, Brian and I just did a walk through the neighborhood and then all the way down there. It was nice.
So that's it. That's what we're closing Tampa on, is the vibes along. This is not technically Tampa Bay. This is Hillsborough Bay, I believe, technically. All right, so let's talk Halloween Horror Nights. I was wearing the same shirt last time. This is my Horror Nights shirt from last year. I'm wearing it again. It just doesn't show very well on camera. It's hitting below the camera. But they have made 2 announcements. And the first announcement that they made
was Slaughter Cinema 2, which kind of, if you go back to the previous episodes where we talked about it, the speculation maps kind of hinted at bringing this back. And they actually did, which is pretty cool. I think the last one they did was I'll have to look at the date. It was like 2015 or 2017, somewhere in that range. So I tried to look up to see, like, to get a reference. But because it was like old footage, it's not old, but because it was older, it didn't really like give the same vibe that the ones I do now. But this one is based off of the previous one, but with more, sorry, I'm trying to look up the theme that they gave, like kind of B-list movies.
So I'm wondering, I would imagine that for this one, you might be having different themed areas, because a lot of times at the movie, obviously there's multiple movies playing, and each one, with a different theme and vibe. So my guess is that you're maybe could be going through a few different scenes from different movies. I know it's going to be generic because it's not IP, but I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically you're supposed to walk through different cinemas, different movies, and it's supposed to like come to life. So I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah.
It'll be like a throwback, and the OGs will remember this one, so I'm fairly new.
Noobs. And then this one was just announced a few days ago.
Yeah, I was going to say like today or yesterday. And this one's Goblin's Feast, which sounds interesting.
This looks like it's going to be like in the forest, like kind of Lord of the Rings vibes. Like if you look at the sign, it's kind of got that.
Ogres.
Yeah.
So Universal announced on their social accounts, "Welcome to the Goblin's Feast Tavern and visit the Goblin Village, where a lavish feast is prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches, and you are the main course."
Ooh.
So that sounds pretty fun.
I think those could be good too.
And I like how people put together that because this is Horror Nights 33, they've made all of their announcements like either at 12:33 or 1:33, whatever it's on, like 33, which is pretty funny.
I would say that these two could have the possibility of both being relatively kind of like almost a little camp. This graphic is giving camp, like,
which I always love that.
Not taking it too seriously. Maybe like kind of like Yeti a little bit. Like
yeah, Yeti was that, and it's funny because it was a camp theme. It was giving the camp vibe,
right?
Which was super funny.
And this one could give camp too, even though the graphics do look a little bit more like. See how this is like a little bit more bloodied, like a little bit more horror. This is a little bit less to me. It's a little bit more like cartoonish. I don't know. I just kind of think about how they present it, and then what kind of the vibe will be. But both kind of read camp to me, which I like.
Yeah. I'm super excited because we booked our hotel the other night, and so it's official.
So, well, it's always official. We don't.
We're going, but for the first weekend,
we're talking about Chelsea. So Chelsea's coming for sure. Liz, she better be coming. But for when Chelsea and Liz come, we did book a hotel for not the first night. We will probably go the first night, so we'll probably go before them. So we still might do a hotel for that night too. We'll see. But I probably won't do the second night.
Because it starts on Friday.
Because it starts on a Friday, then we're going to do it on Sunday. So we'll probably skip Saturday night and then go with them.
So I need a day to recover.
Yeah.
It's because I don't think people realize, like, when you do horror nights, there's so much walking. Because you're pretty much walking Universal like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You're making so
many. If you're doing all the houses.
Yeah, you're making so many loops. It's insane.
But we also are more, we're a little bit better at it.
We're seasoned.
So, yeah.
I made sure to wear the right shoes.
So I feel like putting 2 houses out like that back to back.
Pretty early, yeah.
I mean, it's technically not that early because it starts in August, but it's going to be upon us sooner than we think.
But I like that they haven't done any of the IP ones yet. Those 2 are the originals. So.
All right. So last week my mom was here and we talked about Disney Wilderness Preserve a few months ago now. And that was kind of what brought it up into us knowing about it. I don't even know why we brought it up or how we brought it up. But we did bring it up. And then Mom, when she heard about that, she said, well, I would like to do that when I come. So we saved this for her trip. And we went and did it. It's in Point Siena. It's about 15 miles south of Walt Disney World. It would probably be more like a 30 to 45 minute drive from Walt Disney World, probably, just because it's not like you have a direct highway there. And this was a effort between Disney, the Nature Conservancy, and the state of Florida to protect this area, this land. This was originally purchased by Disney when they were developing Celebration, because they were going to be developing that land, so they wanted to protect other land in Florida. So this land is protected. I forget the official name of it, but the organization over MCO, our international airport here in Orlando, they also have donated land to this effort as well. So there's some land that they donated into this. And it is free. It's open daily from, I think, like 9 to 4:30.
Yeah. It's not at 5 and they make you sign in when you first walk in, so that I think they do that just to preserve daylight, and so it doesn't get too dark when people are still out there. So they make you sign in to kind of keep track of who's in there and whatnot, so that you don't get locked in there. And because it is a lot of land to walk there.
And and they have 7 miles of trails. We did not do all 7 miles of the trails. A lot of the trails is what you see at the top right, so they're pretty wide and they're mowed down.
Which is nice, yeah.
So that's a lot of what we walked on. And then you'll see over in the selfie picture, we took a trail that led us to the lake area, which you'll see a picture of that. And that was a little bit more of a traditional trail, I would say. All pretty manageable, but when we got closer to the lake, we noticed that there was bees swarming in the area or the pathway to the lake around the ground. And so we did a U-turn and did not get any closer to the lake than what you see
in that picture, that zoomed in picture.
Overall, I think it's nice. I think if you're a nature person,
it's not overtly Disney. There's like subtle ties in there.
It really is just in the name.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who financed a lot of it in the beginning. But it's not owned by Disney per se anymore. It was the funds from Disney that gave this preserve its name. And it's Disney's. It has Disney in the name, so you know that's the reason to go. So, to go in the cooler months.
Yes. And we went early in the morning.
And what other tip do you have for them?
So I said this. We did there's a longer YouTube video on it that's out now, so you can go check that out. But in that video, there was a part where I mentioned, do not wear cologne or perfume because the bugs seem to be very attracted to it, and they constantly swarmed me, and it was a bit annoying.
I don't think that Mom and I were swarmed as much as you were, for sure.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, we're going out in public. Let me smell nice.
Public?
Yeah. But
I don't know who TJ was trying to impress.
Okay.
At the Wilderness Preserve.
But yeah, there were a lot of like huge bugs that were like swarming like right around my ear. And there was one point
TJ wasn't smiling like this the whole time.
Nope. So at one point I was like, if it gets really bad, I'm gonna give you the camera and I'm just gonna head back to the car. But it turned out okay.
We were probably there for about 45 minutes. Like 45 minutes an hour is what I would say. We
got there early. We got there as it opened, and we got there early enough to where the sun wasn't too high and it wasn't too humid. So we got there at the perfect time.
And there were parts of it that were very pretty.
Yeah, it is very pretty out there for sure.
I mean,
it's very relaxing.
I don't know, very pretty, but pretty.
I thought.
I mean, for Florida,
it's relaxing.
It's Florida. It would be more relaxing without the bugs. But
yeah.
But I mean, I recommend this. Especially if you're looking for, you know, something free to do. Just go on a cool day. All right, so another place that we went to while my mom was here. Actually, this is the first stop we made with Mom.
Yeah, well, she got in from the airport.
Is Rocohula. So this is a new to Orlando establishment. I believe they have others elsewhere. It is a speakeasy located inside of Voodoo Bayou.
Yes.
Which is a new restaurant in Dr. Phillips on Sand Lake, not too far from Walt Disney World. It is in the attractions area, so
it's closer to Universal.
It's between
the two,
Universal and Disney, but closer to Universal for sure. This is what it is.
It's so I'll let you go ahead before I get into the people.
Okay. So you do come through a very unique way. It's a rotating fireplace with chairs. So you sit down on these chairs and then they rotate you in. You don't necessarily have to go in that way because there is a hallway around the back that you can just walk in. I guess you could tell the person, you know, at the podium, I just want to walk in. I don't want to.
And I'm sure they have to make it accessible for everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Like if someone was coming in a wheelchair, you'd have to be able to get in.
Because you do have to step up on this platform that rotates you in. So go check out my video. I don't know if it's on YouTube yet, but it's on Instagram and it is on TikTok and YouTube. So it's everywhere. Pretty cool vibe. So the Instagram video went viral. Very viral.
To the point where
continues to go viral.
Everyone and their mom had something to say.
So a lot of I won't even say conservatives because that's not fair to conservatives. I guess the very religious conservatives, I don't even know what to say, call them, because I don't want to a certain sect of people thought that the devil was after them or would come after them if they went to a place like this. It is a campy devil cup, and it's very campy, like mid-century cartoon.
And it wasn't even the cup that they first mentioned, it was the skull that was in the decoration that was in the corner.
There are skull decorations. There's a voodoo doll decoration, because we're in a restaurant that's called Voodoo. Anyway,
And it's New Orleans themed.
I
but
personally just like speaking, like, this is a more casual environment, I guess, a little bit more candid. I mean, anyone can come and watch this, but from my own personal view and those people having an issue with all of that, that is the way that I walk in the world. I'm not afraid of any of that. And if you are that afraid, well, I mean, gosh, I don't even know what to tell you. If you're not that established in what you believe, I guess that's a problem for you. So I guess it is a problem for you, and maybe you should stay away.
And I think the issue that I had was a lot of the people. It wasn't a lot. There was just one. There were like one or two particular people within the comments that had issues with, they called it like demonic or whatnot. No one in there is like worshiping that, or like no one's worshiping it in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know why they were getting all bent out of shape.
So I guess they shouldn't ride Indiana Jones at Disneyland.
Yeah,
they
we said that
probably
too.
shouldn't go to a lot of places because there's skulls a lot of places.
There's skulls. You don't do Haunted Mansion.
Anyway.
Don't do Indiana Jones.
We just say that because we've just we've been getting the comments on our feed on our newsreel. These people freaking out over Roca Hula. And now, go ahead.
I was going to say, aside from that, move that out of the way.
Yes.
There were some people that were offended by the pricing and the fact that there was sushi in there.
Yes.
Instead of like American food.
I didn't understand that. It's an Asian, it can be, I mean, whatever. Anyway.
I'm kind of glad it had a different vibe because you can find a speakeasy with like American food anywhere.
Right. The food?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. My expectations for the food was not that high because it is a lounge with a lot of, like, the reason people will go there is for the vibe. Yeah. I say vibe a lot. Is for like the atmosphere and the decorations and just, the neon glow of everything. Like you're going to be captivated by that. Right?
Yeah, that's what kind of sold me, because before we even saw any of the skulls or anything like that, on the website, Brian showed me the backsplash of the pink lighting and the neon lights. That's what sold me.
Just the lights.
Yeah, because it's shiny.
It's shiny.
That's what sold me.
That's why you go, because you're like, oh well, it looks beautiful. I will say we weren't hosted for this. This is out of our own pocket, and it was like $200 for the three of us. It's not cheap. And we shared 3 rolls, 1 app, the tuna tartare, which is there, pictured there, and 3 drinks. And it was $200.
I think, what did your mom got? Was it a tequila drink or?
I forget what it was. I think it was a pineapple based drink. People are always also coming for the fact that it's not generally a traditional tiki lounge is all rum based drinks. This is not all rum based drinks, so they're taking their own liberties here. I liked my cocktail in the Devil,
and mine,
it was very tasty.
Mine was banana flavored, so it was good.
So everyone, like, what's with all these rules?
Not to harp on the negative.
Sweep out all these rules and let's just have some fun. And this was fun. It was expensive fun, but it was fun. I think this is a special occasion spot. I think that this is a great like date night spot if you want to like impress. Yeah. Not impress somebody, but if you want to have a unique experience on a date night, you're probably not going to go here every week. You're going to go here like twice a year, maybe once a quarter, if you really are into it. But this is kind of like a special occasion restaurant. The food was all very good. The rolls were good. So we had this, the what you see pictured here, that's the smoked spicy tuna roll.
I think that was my favorite, yeah.
It comes out, and they take a cover off of it to release the fog. The tuna tartare was really good. She said, if you need more crackers, just ask, and she brought more crackers. We did ask for more crackers.
We ended up needing them, yeah.
And then we shared a sea bass roll, a branzino roll, which was, I really liked it. And then we shared a beef roll that was basically carpaccio on the outside. I really liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, those were the 3 rolls that we shared. Anyway, I really liked it.
I enjoyed it, yeah. And yeah, like you mentioned, it went super viral because...
Yeah, it's the visuals.
Yeah.
Like just the whole visuals, how you enter the bar. So go check it out on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube Shorts, so don't look at the main videos, look at the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the updated DAS policy. We're moving subject, so we're now at Walt Disney World, and...
this was implemented today.
Okay.
And so basically DAS is... what does DAS stand for?
Disability Assistance.
I feel like we should know that.
I mean, no, we don't use it every day. We don't use it ourselves, so... You should continue talking about it.
Disability Access.
Yes, Disability Access Service.
Mm-hmm. Whereas this has been a talking point for a minute because people have felt that it has been abused in some instances. And so I guess Disney heard and they have updated it yet again. And so now there is a new way to obtain this. So you want to go through it?
Yeah, so a little history on the DAS Pass. Back in the day, you would go to guest relations and you would let them know why you would need a DAS Pass, and then guest relations would evaluate and then provide you with the pass. Back in the day, it used to act more like a fast pass. You just walked up and you didn't even have to wait. And then they eventually changed it over to where you got basically like a timestamp. You went up to the attraction and got a time to return. So you were still waiting in line, but you weren't waiting physically in line. You were waiting maybe in, you were in a quiet area, or you're shopping, or you're eating. So what has happened now is that you will have to register online, and you will have to go through a video chat.
It's pretty interesting.
And you will no longer be able to get your DAS Pass from guest relations starting today, as TJ said. So if you were to go up to guest relations tomorrow for the DAS Pass, guessing guest relations would say, well, you're going to need to follow this link and you're going to need to get on a call with this person when you register. I personally think that this is probably a good option to create consistency. So if the people that are receiving the DAS calls, they're going to know and be trained with the right questions, and it's going to be a more controlled interview. Whereas guest relations, there's many factors that can contribute to an interview not being the same from one guest relations cast member to the next. So this creates consistency, in my opinion. And then once you have been approved, then you're going to use the app for your DAS Pass, which the My Disney Experience app has already been used for the DAS Pass for a while, so there's not much of a change there. The other change is that only a party of 4, so the person with the DAS Pass and 3 other people, can utilize the DAS Pass. Now, what I read is that if your immediate family is more than 4, you're fine. Those people can come with you if they are immediate family. If they are not immediate family, if you're traveling with other family / friends, it will be a total of 4 people that can go with you on your DAS Pass. And that is the updates. So
I don't know. So I was also going to read that. I don't know if this has always been implemented, but it also says that Disney says that if it is determined that any of the statements a guest made in the process of obtaining DAS are not true, the guest will be permanently banned from entering Walt Disney World Resort and the Disneyland Resort, and any previously purchased annual passes, Magic Key passes, tickets, and other park products and services will be forfeited and not refunded.
Bye.
So yeah, basically they're cutting that out.
Goodbye.
So if
I don't know if that's. I'm sure that has been somewhere in the verbiage. But basically, the DAS pass has been abused over the years, and people find ways to work around it and to figure out the right thing to say or whatever.
And we're not going to say how, but
I don't even know at this point how. I mean,
we don't use it, so I
know back in the day, like you could go up with a wheelchair and you could get the DAS pass. Basically, like that's how it was back in the day. So it really Disney's trying to make it to where the people who really need to use it can use it. And the ones who are just trying to cheat the system are not able to cheat it
taken out of the equation,
easily, taken out of the equation. And it's gonna be interesting. Like I know if like within the last year or two, they've also, this is a different topic, but they've been concerned with people hiring third-party people to give tours of the park, and I think DAS Pass has been a part of that equation as well, where somebody somehow has access to DAS Pass and then they're using it to basically give unauthorized VIP tours, basically, even though you still have to wait. They're still using their DAS Pass to help basically give a tour in exchange for money. So basically almost selling their DAS Pass. I'm sure there's lots of crazy things. I was in the park once. It was in the last few years. I don't know where you were, but maybe you were. I don't know where you were, but it was while we were together. And for some reason I was in the park solo. I don't remember, but I was watching this family, and you could tell that somebody was with them that wasn't their family member. Like they were like helping move around ECV. They were dressed very differently from the family. Like you could tell they were not a part of it, and you could tell that there was somehow it was an unauthorized tour basically happening. So that's something that that's more of like on the Disney side, where they're like, we want to protect our product, which is VIP tours, and not have people doing that. So, I think Disney's trying to, in some ways, outside of DAS, kind of come down on those unauthorized tours. And also there's been rumors about, possibly coming down on the people who are streaming in the park, or the streamers, but that never really has come to fruition because Disney hosts those people. So
yeah, I was gonna say, so that probably won't be
well, they don't really care, I guess. Which we've done it ourselves. It's just we always try to be respectful of those around when we're doing tours, or excuse me, when we're doing lives or streaming. So that's what we have for you tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for coming in. If you're watching later on, thanks for coming in and hanging out and listening to us ramble a little bit. We did get a little passionate about Rockahula, but we've been seeing notifications pop up on our phones from haters all week. So
what do we have coming in the pipeline?
So let's see. I'm trying to get all my thoughts together here. On Wednesday night, we have Sushi Saint and their omakase. So we've been to Sushi Saint before, and we've done the bar experience at Sushi Saint and the lounge experience, but they have I think it's a separate room for omakase, and so we're doing I think it's a 10-course omakase, and it's $100. And it is, I think technically for omakase, it would be the most affordable omakase in town. Doshi's not really technically omakase because it's more Korean. I don't know if you would consider that omakase, but anyway, we're going there on Wednesday night to Sushi Saint. Let's see. Then I don't think I'm missing anything before that.
I feel like there's Friday we're going to Busch Gardens.
Oh, we're going to Busch Gardens on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That was just added recently.
Yep.
So we're going to preview some of their summer fun.
So it's their kickoff to summer.
So we'll be back in the Tampa Bay area.
Mm-hmm.
And then on over the weekend, we will be at Waldorf Astoria, which I'm really excited about. We are doing the spa. I think we're going to have a cabana. We're going to have dinner at Bull and Bear. We are going to... Then the next day, we are going to feature their room service, because did you know that Waldorf Astoria is the first hotel to offer in-room dining and room service?
No.
You didn't know that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that really either. And so we're going to do content on that since they're the first. And we're going to do their... Well, actually on Saturday, we're doing their afternoon tea. So
Right.
It's going to be kind of busy while we're at Waldorf. It'll be kind of a little bit busy because we'll have things that we need to get to.
It's nice. We get to explore.
And Waldorf has just been renovated. They just finished their renovation at the beginning of the year. And not that they like really needed it, but they did kind of need it, especially for the rooms. It was time for renovation. And so I'm really excited to see the rooms, and I've already seen the lobby and the Peacock Alley, which is their lobby bar. It's beautiful. It's beautifully redone, and excited to be in the spa. I believe that for Waldorf, you can use the spa and the spa facilities as long as you're staying there. You have access to them. So even if you don't have a service, I believe you can use the facilities if you are a hotel guest of the Waldorf. And the Waldorf is connected to Signia by Hilton, and this is very close to Walt Disney World property. It's basically on Walt Disney World property. Bonnet Creek is an area that basically this property wasn't sold over to Disney. The people who owned it didn't sell to Disney, and Disney was a little salty about that for a while. And it still is not owned by Disney, but it's basically on Disney property for all intents and purposes. That's what we have coming up immediately. And then the weekend after that, we have Caribe Royale, which is another weekend at a hotel.
And then after that, we're going to have Ed or Nalini in town.
Our friends from Brazil are going to come in town, and they're going to be staying with us. We're going to do like one night in Miami, and then come home, and then we'll be back in Miami at the end of June.
Right after that, yeah. It's going to be like a week or so after, yeah.
Do a Virgin Voyages cruise.
I'm super excited for that. Those are always my favorite.
And...
But this one's going to be a little different because the first two times we did it, the first one was a little after the pandemic. And so it wasn't at full capacity. The second one we did was the Med Cruise, and it was the first sailing of the Med Cruise for the season, and so it wasn't at full capacity. But this one is going to be a Miami one, and it's in season. It's in the middle of the season, so it's going to be busy. So I'm interested to see how packed it'll be, how different the vibe will be.
I think it's going to be busier than we've ever experienced.
Because it's funny, normally we're kind of on top of getting dinner reservations set for the days that we're sailing. We were kind of lazy about it this time because we're so used to just there being spots available, and this time there kind of weren't. So we're trying to do the things we don't normally do when we go on this one. So this one will be a lot different. So I'm excited to show you guys.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, thanks guys for joining, and we will see you very soon.
All right, bye guys.